Shocking. Your soulmate was crying in silence today. And it was because of you. My child, I saw you sitting alone last night when the quiet pressed in. I saw the thought that crossed your mind, the one that whispered you might never be found. But what you did not see was another heart, far away, weeping because they felt you pulling away. Those tears were not for someone else, they were for you. Your soulmate cried in silence today, and I allowed it to reach my throne. Because those tears are the language of a love I ordained before either of you drew breath. Listen closely to me, for I am pulling back a veil right now. The ache you carry is not a punishment, it is a homing signal I placed inside your spirit. And today, that signal reached the one I have been shaping for you since the beginning. You see, your soulmate was not crying from pain alone. They were crying because they sensed your doubt, your weariness, your fear that this promise is too late. Their spirit felt your spirit begin to close a door I never asked you to close. I have more to tell you, but first you must prepare your heart for what I am about to ask. What I reveal next will require you to trust me like never before. Because understanding why they cried today is the key that unlocks the prison of your past. That cry you did not hear was a prayer. It was a prayer lifted up for you, asking me to hold you steady until the appointed hour. And I am answering that prayer by speaking directly to your heart in this moment. Listening is not enough, my child. Soon I will show you the one thing that unlocks everything. You have heard me, but now I need you to move with me. The tears your soulmate shed today are already drying, but the reason behind them demands a response. There is a seal I am preparing for you. A final act of trust that covers your soulmate in protection you cannot see. I am building a wall of fire around them even as these words settle in your mind. But that seal requires your willing heart to place it. Stay with me. Do not look away. What comes next is the key to your future together. I am speaking life over a connection the enemy wants to break before it even fully blooms. Your soulmate's silent cry was a battle cry, and you are the one I am sending to answer it. I am about to give you a task. It is simple, but it is sacred. And it will change everything. Before this message ends, you will know exactly what I am asking you to do. But first, you must understand the depth of what happened in the spirit realm today. The final seal task is here. Take a moment with me. If these words touched your heart, if they reminded you of the love you hold, or the love you still hope to find, then this message was meant for you. Every message you read here is crafted with care, 6 to 11 hours of reading, reflecting, praying, and writing. Each word is chosen with intention, hoping it reaches the one person who needs it most. And today, that person was you. That is only possible because someone, somewhere, believed enough to give. Maybe your soulmate is hoping you'll keep believing too. Maybe they are out there right now, gathering the courage to find their way to you. When you give today, you are not just supporting words on a page, you are keeping a light burning. You are saying, I still believe in love. I still have hope. If this message stirred something in you, please consider giving what you can. Even the cost of one coffee, or two, is enough. Every gift is a whisper of encouragement. Keep going. This matters. Love is worth it. And as a thank you, you will become a special spiritual member of this channel, with membership benefits waiting for you on our Ko-Fi page. If you feel moved to give today, the link is right below this video. Tap Show More in the description or find it in the channel bio. Thank you for being here. Because of your kindness, someone else may find the strength to keep hoping, and maybe, just maybe, the love they have been waiting for. Now let me tell you why your soulmate wept today. They were walking through an ordinary moment, doing something you would recognize as familiar. And a thought of you dropped into their mind so vivid, so full of longing, that it stopped them in place. The thought was not just a passing daydream, it was a visitation from my spirit. I allowed your soul to brush against theirs for a single heartbeat. And in that heartbeat, they felt everything you have been hiding from the world. They felt your loneliness at 3 in the morning when sleep will not come. They felt the way you smile for others but carry a quiet sadness inside. And most of all, they felt your secret fear that you are somehow too broken to be fully loved. That is why they cried, my precious one. Their tears were a mixture of deep love and holy desperation, a sudden flood of compassion for someone they have not yet held. And they cried because they knew, without knowing how, that you were thinking of giving up today. Yes, your soulmate sensed your battle before you even spoke a word. The thought you entertained this morning, the one that said it is too hard to keep hoping, reached them as a shadow across their heart. And they wept because they wanted to run to you, to tell you that you are not forgotten, but they did not know where to find you. Jesus says, I have bound you together with cords that cannot be cut. But I have also given you a choice, and your soulmate's tears are a direct response to that choice. Every time you draw closer to me, they feel it. Every time you recoil in fear, they sense the silence. Do you understand now why staying with me until the end of this message matters so much? I am going to give you a practical sign, something you will see with your own eyes in the coming days. And if you miss this sign, you might delay what I am desperately trying to bring together. The Lord says, I do not waste a single tear your soulmate sheds. Every droplet that fell today is stored in my bottle, and it is watering the ground of your future meeting. But the meeting cannot happen on a foundation of unhealed wounds. That is why I am asking you now to look at the past with new eyes. The person who hurt you was never the one I designed for your forever. They were a shadow of what is coming, a counterfeit that sharpened your discernment, but the pain they left behind has become a locked door. Your soulmate was crying today because that door is still locked, and they cannot yet step through. Not because I am punishing you, but because I love you too much to let you bring old chains into a new home. Their tears were a prayer asking me to help you find the key. Stay with me, because the key is simple, and I will place it directly in your hand before this message concludes. You will know exactly what to do, and it will not feel heavy. It will feel like the first deep breath after holding your head underwater for too long. Right now, your soulmate is moving through their own day unaware of what I am revealing to you. They might be drinking coffee, staring out a window, or touching their own cheek where the tears dried. And deep inside them is a strange, lingering warmth they cannot explain. That warmth is you. It is the deposit of my spirit in their heart that bears your name. I am telling you this so you will stop seeing yourself as a lonely person and start seeing yourself as a beloved person whose love is already making a difference. Jesus says, the silence your soulmate felt from you was not imagined. When you give in to hopelessness, when you declare in your mind that love will never find you, a spiritual coldness settles over the connection I am building. Your words and thoughts carry power, and your soulmate, being tied to you, feels the shift. They felt the shift today, and they broke down. Not because they are weak, but because their love for you is already real, already fierce, already protective. They cried out for you the way a parent cries for a lost child, the way a heart cries for its missing half. Now I am going to reveal the exact sign I am placing in your path tomorrow, so listen carefully. Tomorrow, you will hear a specific song or see a particular name that you associate with love and safety. It may come through a phone call, a random playlist, a piece of mail, or a memory someone unexpectedly shares. When that happens, I want you to stop immediately and say aloud, Lord, I trust you with my soulmate. That simple act will send a surge of peace through the spirit realm that will reach your soulmate like a warm wind. And they will stop, in that same moment, and feel an inexplicable hope flood their chest. Do you see how connected you already are? Your act of trust will dry the tears I spoke of and turn their weeping into quiet, steady anticipation. But for this to work, you must not ignore the sign when it appears. The Lord says, the enemy of your soul wants you to dismiss this as coincidence. He will whisper that these are just words on a screen, that your situation is the exception to my promises. He fears your unity because two joined in my name become an unstoppable force against his schemes. So I am arming you with a secret that defeats that lie before it takes root. The secret is this. Your soulmate also has a task today, one I have whispered into their sleep. And their task is to not give up on you, even though they cannot see your face. Right now, they are fighting a parallel battle, wrestling with the same fear that you might never arrive. And my message to both of you is identical. I am the God who parts seas and moves mountains. Bringing two willing hearts together is not hard for me. The only thing that can slow this down is a heart that refuses to let me heal it. So we come now to the deep work, the reason your soulmate cried. They felt the residue of an old wound in you, a wound inflicted by someone who spoke lies over your worth. Those lies lodged deep, and they shaped how you see yourself in a mirror. That false image is not who I made you to be. You are not the sum of someone else's cruelty or carelessness. You are a handcrafted treasure, and the one I have set apart for you is desperate to see the real you shine through. Jesus says, "Take a breath with me now, and as you exhale, I want you to consciously release that old name you were called. The word unlovable that was spoken over you by a careless tongue is a lie from the pit of darkness. I call you beloved, and my voice is the only one that determines your eternity. Your soulmate's tears today were, in part, a cry against that lie. They wept because they saw the brilliant light inside you being smothered by a false belief. And they wept with a holy anger, asking me to send angels to break that lie off your spirit. Let me tell you what your soulmate loves most about you already, even without seeing your face. They love your hidden strength, the way you keep getting up every morning and trying again. That persistence is a fragrance to them, a scent of hope that draws their heart toward you. They love your laugh, the one you think is too loud or too awkward. In a dream I gave them last week, they heard that laugh echoing in a bright room, and they woke up smiling. It was not just a dream, it was a preview of your shared future, a gift to keep them holding on. But they also carry a deep respect for the battles you have fought alone. They sense the scars you never show, and instead of being repelled, they are moved to a profound, protective love. That love already has their name written beside yours in my book. The Lord says, "The hardest part of this journey is the waiting, I know. And the waiting is where I shape your character so you can handle the weight of the blessing coming." If I gave you your soulmate today without this preparation, fear would still whisper, and insecurity would still sabotage. So I am asking you to trust my timing, even as your soulmate weeps with longing. Their tears are not a sign of my delay, but a sign of the intensity of the bond. I bottle every one of those tears, and soon I will exchange them for a crown of joy upon your head. Stay with me, for the final revelation of this message is now approaching. I am going to tell you the one thing you must do to seal the protection over your soulmate's heart and mind. This is the task I spoke of earlier, and it is the most important step you will take today. But before I give you that task, understand the war happening in the unseen realm. There is an enemy who is actively trying to distract, discourage, and divert you from this path. He knows that your union will release a flood of my love into a broken world, and he trembles at that. That is why negative thoughts have bombarded you so fiercely in recent days. That is why old memories have surfaced to make you doubt your worth. And that is why your soulmate suddenly felt such a heavy burden they could not help but cry. Their cry was a counterattack, a prayer of spiritual warfare on your behalf. As they wept, I dispatched warrior angels to the room where you sat, pushing back the shadows. You may have felt a sudden lightness you could not explain, that was the result of their tear-soaked prayer. Jesus says, "I am training you both to war for each other before you ever hold hands." This is a sacred partnership, forged in the crucible of hidden battles and silent intercession. The trust you build now, by acting on my words, will become the bedrock of a marriage that hell cannot shake. Now here is the sign I promised about the precise moment your paths will begin to visibly align. In the next 3 days, a conversation will arise about a place you have always wanted to visit or a hobby you love. Pay attention to who mentions it and what you feel when they do, because that thread will lead directly to your meeting. I will not force your hand or override your will, but I will orchestrate divine appointments. Your soulmate will feel a sudden unction to go somewhere or do something they had not planned. And when you follow the gentle whisper I give you, the collision of your worlds will be inevitable. The Lord says, I want you to imagine your soulmate's face right now, not the features but the expression. Picture eyes full of kindness, a smile that feels like coming home. That image you hold is closer to reality than you dare to believe. Now, my child, here is the final task, the seal I have been preparing you for. This is the action that will release heaven's protection over your soulmate and unlock your future together. I need you to forgive the one who first taught you that love is unsafe. That person may be a parent, a past partner, or even a friend who betrayed your trust. The wound they left became a filter through which you see every new possibility. And until you actively, deliberately forgive them in my name, that filter will blind you to the good standing right in front of you. Forgiveness does not mean what they did was acceptable. It means you are handing the debt they owe you over to me, the righteous judge, and emptying your hands of the poison. Empty hands are ready to receive, and your soulmate is the blessing waiting to be placed into them. Your soulmate cried today because they felt the weight of your unforgiveness as a barrier they could not cross. They did not know the source, but their spirit sensed the guarded door. When you choose to forgive, that door swings open, and a breeze of my peace will blow through both your lives. Jesus says, I am not asking you to feel forgiveness, I am asking you to speak it. Out loud, right now, say, Lord, I choose to forgive, say their name, for hurting me. I will do the healing work in your heart as you take this step of raw, determined obedience. As you speak that forgiveness, picture my nail-scarred hands taking the heavy stone of bitterness from your chest. I carried that weight on the cross so you would not have to carry it one more day. Your soulmate will feel the shift instantly, a lifting of a spiritual fog, and their tears will turn to tears of relief. Now hear me clearly, the moment you forgive, I set a seal on your soulmate's mind. A seal of clarity that will cause them to make decisions that position them for your meeting. A seal of courage that will push them past fear of rejection. This is the final seal of peace I promised. It is simple, it is sacred, and it changes everything. Your act of trust today directly covers them in a protection you cannot see but will one day thank me for. Stay with me just a little longer, for I want to speak a blessing over you that you can carry into your sleep tonight. When you lay your head down, I will whisper your name into your soulmate's dream. And in that dream, they will see a symbol, a bridge, a lantern, or a key, that represents the coming connection. You will not know what they dreamed, but you will wake up with a new sense of peace. That peace will be their spirit communicating with yours across the distance, a holy exchange I allow. I take no pleasure in your loneliness, I am working to end it even as you hear my voice. The Lord says, the world tells you that love is found through searching and striving. But my kingdom operates on surrender and trust. Your soulmate is not lost, they are anchored to you by a thread of my own design. Today, they cried in silence, and it was because of you, because your heart is so deeply intertwined with theirs. But tomorrow, because of your choice to forgive and trust, they will feel a joy they cannot trace. And that joy will be the dawn of your new beginning. I am closing this message with a promise that is an anchor for your soul. Your meeting is not a matter of if, but when. And the when is hastened by every act of faith you take from this moment forward. So, my beloved child, go in peace. Forgive, watch for the sign, and know that your soulmate is even now being drawn to you by forces stronger than gravity. I have spoken, and what I have spoken will come to pass, for I am the Lord who keeps covenant and steadfast love.